Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back for another EVE Online discussion video. In today's video I definitely want to cover the latest dev blog from CCP. I think it's pretty damn interesting. It's about some changes that they're planning for the events that they're doing in game once every few months. At least that's what it's been in like the last year or so, and I think it looks pretty promising, so I definitely want to cover that. But first of all, I'm also going to quickly take the opportunity to answer a request that was made in the comments of the latest video. That is, how do you set a Citadel to allow everyone to dock in your Citadel, so basically public docking access. So I'm here on my delonewolf character in Jita. He doesn't have any Citadels, so he doesn't have the necessary settings for that yet either, and I think I'll be able to show you pretty easily how it works. So where you want to be is in the business tab. You have the structure browser, which is the new browser that was launched with the Citadel expansion. You usually start with all structures, and so here for instance you can see all the places that you can dock within the solar system. But if you go to my structures, this is where you need to be, and basically you need to create a profile for your Citadel that will allow the public access. So you have to just create a new profile. You can call it whatever you want. Let's call it test public, just so that you know what it's all about. I can then start creating that, and the next step was profile settings, docking access for instance, no access lists, so we'll have to create one, manage access list, and this is where you want to be. So basically you have different services: docking, corp officers, defenses, clone bay, the market, and reprocessing. And then through an access list, that's how you can give access to everyone. So standards, you'll only have one of these, but you can just create a new one, call it public, like that, create access list, and then in this one you have this nice little button right here, add public, and it's this icon like a little globe, a little shattered globe here with public next to it. And so now on my delonewolf's den character, it's only for the corporation, but on my public access list everyone else can use that. And so now all I need to do is, for the docking rights, is to add an access list called public. There you go. You can then press save, and now if you would have a Citadel, or you would deploy a Citadel and you would give it the test public profile, everyone would be allowed to dock. Now everything else here would still be restricted, so you have to do this for every single item, every single service individually. But I think it's a pretty robust system that does exactly what it's meant to do. Let's say that you also want to allow reprocessing to be public, then you can just again add the public access list. Do you want to diversify a little bit? Do you want to for instance allow certain alliances to have a better rate? You could give public 5% tax, and then you could also add another access list, which you would call friends for instance. So manage access lists again. Let's create a new one called friends, like that. In this one you could then add anything you want, really. Hell, if you want to add goon swarm, you can do that. So just press for the alliance, the let's see if I can find an alliance. Here we go, goon swarm academy for instance. We can then add these guys as a member, and now they can be added. So let's press close this one. So let's say that you want to give your friends a better tax rate, then you can just press access lists, add in friends, and give them a 2% tax rate for instance. But for the docking, it's, if you really want just that public docking, it's very easy. Just create your profile. In that profile you create a public access list. You just give everyone access to that through the public add public icon in the right bottom. This is really the one that you need to know if you want to add public access to anything, and then you just add the public one to the docking rights, and there you go, it's done. If you want to remove that, just press the remove button right there, And if you want to re-add that, there you go, public, and now everyone can dock inside your structure. So that's basically where you want to be, the structure browser, play a little bit with the profiles, but honestly, it's pretty damn intuitive. I've gone through all of this on the test server, but I got through this with just creating a single profile, so it should really be pretty easy for you to figure this one out on your own. Just remember, the add public button is on the bottom right in the access lists. So yeah, let's get out of here. Let's see what it actually saved, because I'm not entirely sure here. Structure browser. Well, we can always remove the profile, right, if you want that, just to keep it clean here. And then let's move on to the dev blog here, Shadow of the Serpentis, Signal the Dawn. So let's see, when is it gonna start? On June 28th, CCP is gonna start the Shadow of the Serpentis events, but they're gonna add a bit of a twist to that, namely that they are going to make the scope network an independent network that's basically going to contract jobs to the capsuleers that are tied to the events. And you can get a little bit of a look right here at what it's meant to look like. So on your login screen, you can see that the current event is happening, Shadow of the Serpentis. You can see how long it's going to last, another 62 days. All of this is placeholder, of course. And then down here, you can have different challenges for your different characters, which you can then go through. All of this again here, mine 1000 ore. I don't think that they're going to do that for a Serpentis event, but this should allow CCP to basically create events that are a bit more dynamic, a bit more fluent, and evolve a little bit more than what we've had before. So I think that this looks pretty damn promising. You can go through the entire dev blog if you want. I'm not going to read everything verbatim. So the participation is basically you see what you need to do on the login screen, and then you also will probably have like a scope challenges part on your UI, like under your system information and things like that. And then yeah, you can just get started, right? If you need to mine ore, if you need to kill certain pirates, you can keep going there, and eventually you can earn several tiers. From what I've read here, it looks like 3 tiers of rewards from the scope. So presumably these will mostly be like vanity items, right? Possibly skins, apparel, maybe medals, maybe some titles or things like that. But the main reason why they're doing this, so why change the events here, has apparently been that although the previous events were pretty successful, it seemed like, especially for newer players, the visibility was still too low. So there was still this barrier of entry of joining these events just from not knowing that they were happening. And of course, after a few days, the people that know about them tend to really roam around for all of these sites, and they rarely lasted more than just a few minutes in any system. And so of course a newer player or someone that's not aware of what's happening is going to miss out on that completely. And so with this new functionality here, CCP wants to basically create more visibility, and they also want to test out some new content, some new events or challenges that they can add to these events in order to see how they can evolve this and how they can make that system better. Honestly, I'm pretty surprised that they're doing this right before the summer. The summertime tends to be not that super active for CCP, but they're really going for something like that, and I like what I see. My first thoughts, my first reaction on this is that this looks pretty similar to like a season in Diablo 3, right? You can have recurring events. They're talking about 6 weeks for an event here at the moment, at least for Shadow of the Serpentis. They could add smaller or larger events, but if they could keep that train rolling, then you can eventually probably get a little bit of like a seasonal thing going, just like in Diablo 3 with different types of challenges. And this, I think, can keep people more interested in the game without having to absolutely become part of an alliance, have to do PvP, have to join the player political agendas and all of that good stuff. You can just enjoy the story and the game through these challenges that the scope are going to set up. What I also like is honestly the potential of this system, right? They can start with stuff that is very accessible, like what we're seeing here, mine some ore, kill a few pirates, things like that that newbie players can do very easily. But they can, I think, add some really specific and really challenging tasks in event systems like that that could be very cool, could be really sought after, could be something for the veterans to chew on, and maybe provide some very unique type of content. What I could imagine here, for instance, that could be very cool is that in maybe the last few weeks or so, CCP unleashes a single but pretty tough to kill NPC that is a Serpentis boss or something like that, and you have one chance to actually hunt him down, find him and kill him, bring back his body. If you can bring back his body to the scope, you get a pretty cool reward, like maybe Serpentis Hunter medal or something like that, something that's unique, that shows that you've put in the effort and you are the one that has killed that single boss. But what could be cool in the sandbox, of course, is that you can have only a single one of those, and it would really become a very challenging chase that I think even veteran players would go after. It could create a lot of content, and so you can go from extremely easy and accessible, mine a bit, kill a few rats anywhere you want, to something that's extremely specific, challenging, hard, where all the entire sandbox, the entire player base can actually interfere with your attempts to finish that final challenge. People that are loyal to the Serpentis could find him first, or maybe get some extra tips about his location and try to defend that NPC, which could be like the other side of the medal. If he survives, then the top contributor there gets the reward for some reason. But yeah, you could see, I think, how this is a pretty well thought out system that will, I think, do what it intends to do, increase the visibility and the accessibility of these events, but can also be scaled up for harder events, different types of events, for stuff that even veteran players might find challenging or want to invest in, stuff that'll actually cost some real effort, maybe even some real risk when it comes to ships and ISK and all of that good stuff. And so I definitely like this idea. I look forward to seeing what is going to happen with this event, to see how CCP is going to handle that, and of course to try and participate, see what type of challenges I can complete myself as a mostly solo player in a very small corporation. I think it's a pretty damn good and promising idea. I had no idea that CCP was planning to roll out something like that. Although of course some people may say, well, adding seasons into the sandbox, is that the right thing to do? Honestly, as long as whatever these challenges are, don't get instanced behind something that means any safety, this is completely within the rules of the sandbox, and I think can become a pretty great addition to the game. So there you go, guys. Check this dev blog out for all of the details. Keep an eye on maybe my videos, but especially like the EVE Updates website and new media, Twitter and stuff like that about these events, because well, of course, some Serpentis super capitals could be pretty damn interesting if you could snag a PPC or something like that from those. But it looks to me like a pretty good plan. It looks like something that could be a lot of fun to do, and that could be really great for the game in general. So as I've said, I look forward to seeing how all of this is going to play out and keep you guys up to date. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.